One Piece chapter 946 is out, and I gotta say, upon reacting to this chapter, I didn't enjoy it that much. After rereading and taking some time and talking to a few people, this chapter is pretty good. This chapter is pretty good, and we're just gonna go through it and talk about what happened. Again, rereading it, it made me laugh a few times, and some things was clear to the story, and I think how Oda is progressing things is actually pretty good, even though sometimes I think Luffy's growth is just too fast, but I think it's necessary for what we're going up against at the end of the arc, we presume, which should be Kaido. So Big Mom reaffirms what we already knew. She's a monster. And Big Mom, again, one of the strongest characters in the series, a walking calamity, a Yonko. Big Mom is showing us again, even with her not being able to use Haki, not having her memories, so she's not using her devil fruit, she was able to low diff, the lowest of diffs, a Yonko commander, a second Yonko commander. That speaks volumes. And I know people are saying, well, finally great portrayal for Big Mom. I think Big Mom has always had amazing portrayal. Everything she did in Whole Cake Island, and she still managed not to take in a scratch pretty much, other than when the Mother Carmel photo got destroyed. That's the only time Big Mom was actually hurt. Queen did not lay one hit on Big Mom. I mean, this obviously shows the separation between a Yonko commander and a Yonko. I suppose my issue doesn't come from Big Mom versus Queen, but rather how Oda portrays other Yonko commanders, or specifically Yonko commanders of the past. The main person being Rayleigh, and again, Rayleigh is portrayed to be someone that can compete with the Yonkos of this generation, and I'm sure with the Yonkos of the previous generation, in his prime at least. And we don't see any other commanders that can do that. So it's kind of lowering or scaling back the commanders of this generation and having the commanders of that previous generation on a different tier. Marco, even though he's the commander of Whitebeard, he's not even portrayed that way. And again, we know there's a secret commander of Whitebeard somewhere. He has to be portrayed the same way as Rayleigh. But there's a difference, right? Where Rayleigh as a Yonko commander, he is shown to be someone that can fight with admirals, and a lot of people presume him to be Yonko level in his prime. No other commander we have seen in this generation can do that. People presume Ben Beckman could be on that level as well, but again, that's a hard jump because of from every Yonko commander that we've seen, they're not on that level. We don't even think Yonko commanders can mess with admirals at this point, how they've been portrayed. Big Mom was able to low diff, negative diff Queen, who had all that mouth, all that calculation with no effort whatsoever. I think it's kind of disappointing for the Yonko commanders personally, but again, Big Mom is a monster, so I knew this is what Big Mom was capable of. I love it. Like, I love what Big Mom is doing, because again, Big Mom is a Yonko that's constantly disrespected, and a lot of people saying, well, you put Miyako ahead of her. We'll talk about that another time, but Big Mom, one of the strongest characters in the series, and it's not surprising that a lot of characters would actually try to avoid her because she's that much of a monster. We know Roger tried to avoid her in the past. Again, that was probably young Roger because he hadn't assembled all the poneglyphs yet. However, Big Mom, so much respect from me, and she's always had my respect. The people are wondering, like, Queen, someone with that bounty, he's getting low diff by Big Mom. What is going on? It's cool that Kid and Killer, they actually got freed from Big Mom tossing Queen around like a rag doll. That was one of the issues I had, because I did not want Luffy to be the one to free Kid and Killer. I didn't want to be a situation in which Kid and Killer were in Luffy's debt. I want to maintain this rivalry between the two so that we can have them grow at an insane rate together. However, this chapter is kind of shitting on that theory I have between Luffy and Kid, because Kid at this point, he's stuck. We haven't seen much from him, and Luffy is continuously progressing. Again, Big Mom's collateral damage has been great because she was also able to destroy the cage of Kawamatsu, but they're saying Kawamatsu should still be in chains, so we're gonna see Kawamatsu pretty soon. It's funny, Daifugo was asking should he shoot at Big Mom, and the response was, why would you provoke her? He just destroyed, in so many words, she just destroyed our boss, and you want to shoot at her? What the hell is wrong with you? So then immediately it's like, okay, let's contact Kaido, because more than likely Kaido is the only person in Wano that can mess with Big Mom. Well, the Smails aren't working, and then we got some information as to why the Smails weren't working. Raizo and Caribou had been up to some no good, or good if we're looking at it from our perspective, the ours, when I say our, I mean the Alliance. They were going around taking out the smart pond snails, and Caribou broke it down saying there's a boss pond snail. If you take out the boss pond snail, you basically triple their communication system, and that's what they did. So now they can't contact Kaido Kaido to tell Kaido that Big Mom just annihilated Queen. Raizo even got into how helpful Caribou had been, and for me, I always thought Caribou could be a help to the Straw Hats and to the Alliance. You never really know his motive because we've seen him do terrible things, but in his cover story, we see that he can do good things as well. So this is somewhat of a redemption arc for Caribou. He could flip at any time and go to Kaido's side if he figures Kaido's side starts to win. But for right now, again, Caribou's been a great help, and we can't forget his ability to transport things. He has a bottomless pit, it seems like, in his stomach. He was trying to bring Shirahoshi into him so he can handle a big load. That sounded weird as fuck. Caribou can handle a lot of things inside him. He's a swamp, right? He's going to play a major role for the Alliance and coming out on top by the end of this arc. We then jump back to Big Mom, and she has found a bucket of Ushiruko, and at this point she's happy and she's giddy because she can finally smell the rich, sweet fragrance of the Ushiruko, and she's excited to eat it. Of course, she looks and there's none in there, and Big Mom has this look on her face, which I thought was pretty funny. But then Luffy, out of nowhere, he comes and says he would like to eat more of the Ushiruko, and was saying it was very delicious. And Hyogoro was even saying, "What the hell are you saying, Straw Hat Man?" And again, this is a comedic moment because Luffy turns to Hyogoro and said, "Wait, did I say that out loud?" Because Big Mom definitely heard them or heard him. And now, of course, Big Mom has turned her ire towards Hyogoro and Luffy, and here we go. We also see Queen is not actually out for the count. He's still on the ground and he has speech bubbles. It's looking like he's actually thinking. He does seem stunned though, so he's probably done, or he's playing possum. He also doesn't have any noticeable bruises around him, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but he is in Ancient Zone, so I expect them to be pretty formidable. But yeah, for the most part, how it's looking, Queen got severely owned by Big Mom. So now Big Mom is going after Luffy, and Luffy's trying to tell her to stop because you know they can't go too far out of the ring, or else razors are going to come out of their collars and kill him and Hyogoro. He's also still calling her Big Mom, and for her, she doesn't know that to be her name. She's still asking him, who the hell is Big Mom? Because to her name is Olin. Luffy and Hyogoro are now stuck, and then we get some more insight on how Big Mom is actually feeling about the Shiruko. The reason why she wanted so much of it and she wanted it so badly was because she wanted to go share it with the townspeople that shared some food with her. Big Mom has reverted back to her childlike state because she doesn't have any of her memories, in which she wants to help things, but the way she's going about it is completely and terribly wrong. That's exactly how Big Mom was in the past, and this is her just as an adult, in which she wants Ushiruko, so she's willing to kill other people for it to make the people that she care about happy. Just twisted thinking. Big Mom is a twisted individual. So this was a bit of a controversial part in the chapter because a lot of people felt like how it came out of nowhere was somewhat anticlimactic, and this is something that did not feel as earned as other things, and that may be the issue with Luffy's power-ups, in which he's getting them because he wants them and needs them, and that's the issue with Haki blooming or things blooming, is that in situations in which you need something, you're just getting exactly what you need. It's someone like in Yu-Gi-Oh! In which you need Dark Magician at the time, because you really need it, you're getting Dark Magician, or you really need a trap card, negate attack, or whatever, you're really getting it, so it seems somewhat convenient. So I can understand the qualms with it. People were also upset how Luffy was able to take off Hyogoro's shackles and then take his off, but it wasn't actually shown on screen. But I guess if you take your time and look at it, it does look like Luffy takes his time to grab Hyogoro's and throw both at the same time. But again, he did not know how he did it, and Hyogoro was going to take advantage of this moment in which he tells Luffy to defend him, to not forget what he just did, because only when backed into a corner will one's true power bloom. So he's standing in front of Big Mom with his back turned to Big Mom, and Luffy at this point has to defend him and protect him from Big Mom. What Luffy did by taking off the collars is similar to what Rayleigh did when he took off Kami's collars in Sabaody. So Luffy is definitely progressing, and a lot of Rayleigh's teachings, of course, is coming in handy. We know Rayleigh taught him the basics, but having a teacher like that made for a great foundation, and I guess that could attribute to why Luffy is growing so quickly now. He already has the basics down pat, so for him growing at the rate that he's growing, I guess I can see it. I still have a few problems with how everything played out in this chapter. One is the Queen versus Big Mom thing. Big Mom is definitely supposed to destroy someone like Queen. However, for Oda and the new generation of commanders, they're nowhere on the level of someone like Rayleigh, and of course Rayleigh, I know he's the right hand of the Pirate King, but even Whitebeard's commanders were not portrayed in a way that was, I think, wasn't that great. They were okay. I mean, it's a personal small thing in regards to power scaling. And again, for power scaling, I don't take it as seriously just because it's all over the place and things happen when it's convenient. However, Big Mom is supposed to destroy Queen. That's not the main issue. I'm looking at the overarching theme and everything that has happened to commanders in the story. I suppose the commander's not gonna, I know people are comparing Ace to Queen and saying, hey, Ace versus Whitebeard, it would be the same way. He would probably lose in even less time. Whitebeard was defeating Ace even while he was sleeping. I understand that, but Ace was not even the second strongest on Whitebeard's crew. He was just the second commander. And also Ace was a fairly new commander at the time. Queen has been with Kaido for decades, to expect a certain level of prowess and power. And I suppose getting two-shotted by a Yonko without Haki, as impressive as Big Mom is, it's kind of like, well, the commanders are just straight up shit. But again, Big Mom is a fucking monster. It does make things a little weird when Chopper is able to take a hit from Big Mom. I don't care if it's guard point, what Big Mom is able to do to a Yonko commander. It doesn't make sense that Chopper is able to take a hit from Big Mom, but it's whatever. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Luffy, next chapter, he's going to have to defend Big Mom, and that's the next level and next step to his training, because again, he's trying to unlock that next level of Haki, and that's something I like. I know a lot of people saying, well, it's been 20 years, Luffy should have had this by now, and I don't think that's an accurate way to judge the story. Time passed in real life should not affect things that happen within the story, because then you start rushing things and then things lose their value, and it doesn't have the same build-up as they once did. I'm not saying that's what's happening in One Piece at all, because One Piece still has great build-up at times, but for this one, it kind of felt somewhat anticlimactic. Still a good chapter. I still rate the chapter as a 7.5 to an 8. I'm actually looking forward to see how Luffy stands up against Big Mom with this Haki. Is he going to fail? Because if he fails, he says that Luffy will die, which I don't think is the case. Good chapter. Let me know how you feel. Make sure to like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.